First thing, that's how much I wasn't even worried about Juice, you know? To where he like shows me this fucking stupid ass TMZ thing where that's like Juice passes away, and I'm just like, I dropped everything in my hands, and I never had this. I've never had an attack like that where I like couldn't breathe.
Juice WRLD's final moments leaked. Out of nowhere, a police audio recording from the night he died just hit the internet, and what it reveals might change everything. It's raw, it's haunting, and it's spreading fast across TikTok, Reddit, and X. But what followed shocked everyone. Because this isn't just another leak, it's a digital resurrection. Viral chaos. The internet just exploded. Again. Nearly a decade after Juice WRLD's tragic death, a new leak has shaken the digital world to its core. Police audio from the moments before his fatal seizure. The recording has clawed its way to the top of every feed, every timeline, every dark corner of TikTok, Reddit, and X.
A young rapper from the south suburbs would suffer a seizure at Midway's Atlantic Aviation hangar. But these startling pictures here, obtained by TMZ, show why federal authorities were taking a closer look at the flight. 70 pounds of cannabis found inside 41 vacuum-sealed bags. Police say they were discovered by state police canines after arrival. Chicago police report no one from the plane claimed ownership of the luggage.
An ambulance inside the airport.
It was about that time Juice WRLD went into a seizure.
It's raw, it's haunting, and it's reignited every wound that never really healed. The 2025 leak, allegedly pulled from body cam and dispatch recordings, captures the frantic, gut-wrenching sounds of the rapper's final moments at Chicago's Midway Airport. The chaos, the panic, the sound of a superstar slipping away while millions now listen in grim fascination. In the background, a trembling voice, his girlfriend, Ali Lottie, begs through tears, "You're gonna be okay, baby?" It's intimate, it's horrifying. It's a digital seance that no one asked for, but everyone can't stop watching. Fans are divided. Some call it exploitation, a grotesque invasion of privacy, a replay of trauma disguised as tribute. Others insist it's the truth, finally unfiltered and unredacted. Either way has gone nuclear. Within hours of the leaks surfacing, social media feeds were flooded with heartbreak, outrage, and obsession. Clips have been remixed, analyzed, and dissected by online sleuths hunting for meaning in every echo. The timing, too, feels almost poetic or cruel, arriving just as debates over celebrity privacy and digital ethics dominate global conversation. Yet, despite takedown efforts, the audio refuses to disappear. It's everywhere, multiplying like a virus, reposted, monetized, commodified. The tragedy of Juice WRLD has been rebranded as content. Digital forensics experts claim the source may trace back to a law enforcement archive breach or unauthorized retrieval, sanitized words for what's likely an inside leak for profit, and this isn't the first. In 2024, fragments of the same recording surfaced. Blurry, distorted, enough to tease but not expose. The 2025 version, it's complete. It's brutal. It even includes the pilot's dispatch report mentioning suspected drugs, reigniting an old, ugly question. Did the police care more about evidence than about saving a life?
White folks lynching, we just drenching.
Industry insiders say Juice's estate has fought tooth and nail to stop leaks, but they keep resurfacing. Ghostly reminders that fame doesn't just follow you to the grave, it drags you back into the spotlight. The conversation has now grown beyond Juice WRLD himself. It's about us. About the internet's insatiable hunger for pain, for spectacle, for tragedy dressed up as justice. Viewers claim they want closure, but the clicks tell another story. This isn't mourning, it's voyeurism. It's grief turned into content. The 2025 leak hasn't just revived the memory of Juice WRLD. It's transformed his death into a trending topic once again, and no one seems ready to log off. Tragic prelude. To understand why this new leak cut so deep, you have to rewind to the day everything fell apart. December 8th, 2019. The morning hip-hop's brightest prodigy became its most haunting what if. Juice WRLD, born Jared Anthony Higgins, had the world in his hands. A chart-topping career, millions of loyal fans, and lyrics that made pain sound poetic. He was only 21, a dreamer who had turned heartbreak into an anthem. Was a young man crumbling under anxiety, insomnia, and an addiction the world mistook for aesthetic. He sang about dying young long before anyone believed he would. That morning, his private jet from Los Angeles touched down at Chicago's Midway Airport. Waiting for him weren't fans, but federal agents. The pilot had tipped off authorities about possible contraband, guns, drugs, something big. Within minutes, the runway turned from a homecoming to a crime scene. According to official reports, Juice panicked. He swallowed several Percocet pills in a frantic attempt to hide them from police. Moments later, he began convulsing. Witnesses described the scene as chaos. Juice foaming at the mouth, bleeding from the nose, his girlfriend Ali Lottie screaming for help. Paramedics rushed to administer Narcan twice, but nothing worked. The artist who once turned pain into music now became its victim. By the time they reached Advocate Christ Medical Center, he was gone. The Cook County Medical Examiner ruled it an accidental overdose caused by oxycodone and codeine toxicity. Officially, the case was closed, but for fans, closure never came. The numbers, 70 pounds of marijuana, 3 firearms, 2 bodyguards arrested, felt like distractions from a deeper tragedy. How could someone who poured his heart into songs about survival die like this? To his followers, Juice WRLD wasn't another statistic in the opioid crisis. He was a prophet who saw his end too clearly. His lyrics about addiction, fame, and fear now sounded like premonitions set to a beat.
Now, both of the men arrested for weapons violations were charged with misdemeanors. Chicago police are spearheading this investigation, and at this point, we have no idea of exactly what killed Juice WRLD. Autopsy results are still pending. In the newsroom, Vince Girasoli, CBS 2 News.
In the years that followed, his story was dissected in documentaries, interviews, and late-night YouTube theories. His mother, Carmela Wallace, refused to let her son's death become a headline, launching the Live Free 999 Foundation to combat substance abuse and mental illness. But the internet never let go. Fans demanded the truth, the uncut version, the inside audio, the proof that someone somewhere could have saved him. Now in 2025, that obsession has come full circle. The leaked police recordings have revived the same agonizing question that has haunted his legacy for 6 years. If help had come sooner, or if fear hadn't ruled that runway, would Juice WRLD still be alive? Audio analysis. The leaked police audio isn't just disturbing, it's cinematic in its chaos. The kind of recording that sounds too unreal to be real, like a horror film shot without a director. Shaky breathing, overlapping shouts, metal clanking, the sound of a life unraveling second by second. Experts say the clips were ripped straight from police body cams and dispatch lines, their timestamps matching the official reports down to the minute. But what they capture isn't control, it's complete pandemonium. "Get him stable," one officer shouts. Another interrupts, "Bag the evidence." 2 sentences that sum up the conflict at the heart of this tragedy. A system torn between saving a life and preserving a case file. It's the sound of compassion colliding with bureaucracy.
Get an ambulance inside the Atlantic airport. They got a guy seizuring in here.
And then comes the voice no one can forget. Ali Lottie, desperate, trembling, breaking apart in real time. "Let it out, baby. Please breathe," she pleads again and again, her words slicing through the static like lightning through fog. In the background, paramedics fumble with Narcan. Someone yells, "Vitals dropping." Another responds, "Keep pressure." The audio cuts in and out, but the panic doesn't. Then, a few seconds later, the most haunting sound of all, silence. The kind that hangs in the air long after the noise is gone. Audio forensic experts have verified parts of the leak as authentic, confirming their alignment with earlier, partially redacted versions that surfaced in 2024. But this new 2025 leak goes further. Unedited, unblurred, unrelenting. It includes snippets like a pilot's radio call reporting possible contraband on board, a detail that fans now cite as proof that law enforcement was more focused on drugs than the human being dying in front of them. Officers can be heard talking about containment and evidence handling, while paramedics beg for room to work. It's more than just a tragic moment. It's an indictment of priorities.
Hours later, the promising young rapper from the south suburbs would suffer a seizure at Midway's Atlantic Aviation hangar. But these startling pictures here, obtained by TMZ, show why federal authorities were taking a closer look at the flight. 70 pounds of cannabis found inside 41 vacuum-sealed bags. Police say they were discovered by state police canines after arrival. Chicago police report no one from the plane claimed ownership of the luggage.
An ambulance inside the airport.
It was about that time Juice WRLD went into a seizure.
Yet buried within all the chaos is something raw, almost sacred, humanity. You can hear it in the panic, in the heartbreak, in the futility. The audio exposes not just the final moments of a global star, but the unfiltered fragility of everyone in that hangar. Some say the leak humanizes Juice WRLD, reminding us that beneath the fame was a frightened young man. Others say it's exploitation, trauma rebranded as truth. But whichever side you take, one fact remains unshakable. Once you've heard it, you can't unhear it. Conspiracy whispers. Once the leak hit, the internet did what it always does best. It spun chaos into conspiracy before the truth could even find its shoes. Within hours, Reddit threads lit up like Christmas lights on a crime scene. TikTokers started lip-syncing to the dispatch voices, reenacting the final moments with eerie filters and hashtags like and. Theories multiplied like wildfire. The pilot set him up, some claimed. The label wanted him gone, others whispered in dark comment sections. And in the vacuum of transparency, rumor became gospel. The newly leaked audio didn't just reignite curiosity, it seemed to confirm every suspicion fans had been holding onto for years, that the police were tipped off, that Juice's overdose wasn't panic, but sabotage, that somewhere in the noise, someone wanted him silenced. One viral post claimed that an insider from the jet's crew contacted authorities mid-flight, providing coordinates and a list of suspected contraband. Another thread swore that Juice's fatal panic began the moment he spotted flashing lights from the cockpit window, that he knew somehow it was over. Fans now dissect the audio frame by frame, analyzing the pilot's voice, the clipped police chatter, even the timing of Ali Lottie's screams. Every second becomes potential evidence. To believers, the recording isn't a document of tragedy, it's a confession of guilt. And then there's the record label angle, the conspiracy that refuses to die. Some claim that Interscope had millions at stake, terrified that Juice was planning to break free and launch his own label. YouTube theorists draw arrows on timelines, mapping out royalty disputes, unreleased tracks, and mysterious lost contracts. It's all speculation, but it feeds an audience addicted to the idea that tragedy must always have a villain, because randomness, that unbearable thought that death can be senseless, doesn't trend. Even Ali Lottie has poured gasoline on the digital fire. Her cryptic post, "They knew what they were doing, you don't know half of it," have become scripture to fans who mix grief with suspicion. Screenshots of her messages circle like sacred relics, proof to some that the cover-up is real, but maybe it's not conspiracy. Maybe it's just heartbreak trying to make sense of chaos.
These casual moments on board Juice WRLD's private jet give no indication of the blockbuster news that was yet to come.
Get an ambulance inside the Atlantic airport. They got a guy seizuring in here.
Psychologists call it grief reconstruction, the brain's desperate attempt to turn pain into pattern to find meaning in loss. But online, it's not therapy, it's content. Each theory, each slowed-down audio clip, each Reddit manifesto adds another chapter to the myth of Juice WRLD. The cursed prodigy, the industry's sacrificial lamb, the boy who seemed to predict his own death. Whether true or not almost doesn't matter. The conspiracies keep his name alive, just not in the way he deserved. Law enforcement. The audio leak doesn't just expose chaos, it exposes priorities. What once felt like a tragic accident now sounds like a case study in misplaced focus. The police response that morning has become the center of a moral firestorm. Did they do enough to save Juice WRLD, or were they too busy protecting evidence to protect a life? The newly surfaced body cam and dispatch recordings paint an unsettling picture. Officers shouting about bags and contraband, while just a few feet away, a 21-year-old superstar convulses on the floor. To defenders, this was standard protocol. To critics, it's criminal negligence wrapped in procedure. The kind of cold efficiency that makes tragedy feel systemic. According to official reports, EMS arrived within minutes. But when you hear those minutes on tape, they feel like hours. Each second stretches, heavy and cruel, as the sound of panic fills the background. One officer calls for containment. Another fumbles CPR instructions through static. A third repeats, "Where's the paramedic?" It's the sound of bureaucracy colliding head-on with mortality. And then, there's the quiet horror that followed. While Juice's body still lay motionless in the private terminal, police continued cataloging items, photographing luggage, and processing 2 of his security guards for firearm possession. That image, paperwork beside a dying artist, has now become symbolic. A generation sees it as proof that justice, in America, too often prioritizes control over compassion. The leaked footage has reignited those questions in 2025 with renewed fury. Has anything really changed? Activists and fans alike argue that this leak isn't just about Juice WRLD. It's about how the system treats anyone caught between fame, addiction, and suspicion. The internet is demanding answers that the Chicago Police Department still hasn't given. Comment sections, forums, and think pieces echo the same haunting question. If this had been anyone else, if he hadn't been a famous black rapper, would they have done more?
Breaking right now, we are getting our first look inside the private plane of rapper Juice WRLD. He died after suffering a seizure at Midway Airport. CBS News' Ventura Soli has been digging into the story all day and reports they were traveling with more than just drugs.
The Chicago PD finally broke its silence with a short, icy statement. All actions followed protocol. 4 words that landed like a shrug. But protocol doesn't bring back a son. It doesn't console a mother. It doesn't stop the replay of that audio looping through the internet's collective grief. It just fills out paperwork. And now, as millions listen to those final desperate moments, one truth cuts through louder than any siren. Protocol might preserve evidence, but it doesn't preserve humanity. Official silence. The Chicago Police Department's official response to the 2025 leak could fit on a sticky note. Short, sterile, and soulless. We do not comment on unauthorized releases. That was it. No acknowledgement of authenticity, no recognition of the pain it caused, not even a gesture of empathy toward the family or the millions mourning all over again. Just bureaucratic jargon masquerading as professionalism.
Where he was like, yo man, if I ever go, like, take care of Allie and like, just make sure things are okay. Please, I trust you. And he was like, just know I got you. I got your girl. I got Lex. I got your family. Whatever. I'm here if anything ever happens to you.
The statement landed like an insult, colder than the December air that took Juice WRLD's last breath. Officials doubled down, insisting that all actions on December 8, 2019 were conducted by the book. But what book justifies the resurfacing of a young man's final moments half a decade later? Critics have ripped the department's statement apart, calling it evasive, tone-deaf, and emblematic of a system that hides behind protocol instead of accountability. Legal analysts point to a darker implication, that the leak might have originated from within law enforcement itself. If this came from an internal database, someone with access made a deliberate, unethical, and likely criminal choice, one attorney told reporters. That suspicion has transformed what began as a privacy breach into a potential investigation of its own. Digital forensics experts have noted that the leaked clips bear hallmarks of archived material, file naming patterns and metadata suggesting internal origins rather than third-party hacks. Meanwhile, Juice WRLD's family has pleaded for compassion. Through her Live Free 999 Foundation, his mother, Carmela Wallace, released a brief but devastating statement. This isn't closure, it's pain repackaged for clicks. Her words silenced comment sections for a moment, a rare stillness in the endless churn of online outrage. Fans echoed her exhaustion, acknowledging that curiosity had turned cruel. What was once seen as a fight for truth now feels like voyeurism cloaked in grief.
How you feel?
And yet, the internet moves like wildfire. For every mirror link removed, 5 more spring up somewhere else. The clips persist, reposted on TikTok, mirrored on Telegram, archived on Reddit threads that refuse to die. The police's refusal to clarify has become gasoline for conspiracy fires, proving an old digital law. When institutions stay silent, the public writes its own version of the story. Each replay of that audio doesn't just echo Juice WRLD's last moments. It echoes institutional indifference, amplified for all the world to hear. Fan frenzy. If grief is supposed to fade, Juice WRLD's fandom never got the memo, or maybe they just refused to read it. The 2025 leak hasn't just reopened old wounds, it's turned mourning into a full-blown movement. Social media feeds have become digital shrines, overflowing with heartbreak, outrage, and obsession. Fans post crying emojis, grainy edits, and slow-motion montages of Juice smiling during his final tour, now hauntingly synced with the leaked dispatch audio. It's beautiful and disturbing in equal measure, like a funeral set to autoplay. They shouldn't have released that. One viral comment reads, "But I can't stop listening." That contradiction, horror mixed with compulsion, perfectly captures the emotional paradox of the Juice WRLD fandom, devastated but addicted to the replay. Online, the community has split in two. One camp demands boycotts of every platform hosting the leak, calling it digital desecration. The other defends it as truth, insisting the recordings are part of hip-hop history. TikTok has become the front line of this war, filled with edits that layer Juice's music over his final moments, like "Legends Never Die," playing softly beneath police chatter. The irony cuts deep. His art, meant to immortalize emotion, now soundtracks his own tragedy. Producers, collaborators, and even industry peers have spoken out. Some beg for decency. Let him rest. Others argue the leak exposes systemic failures in how authorities handle overdose emergencies. The debate rages across interviews, podcasts, and comment threads. Is it exploitation or preservation? Mourning or monetization? The internet predictably has chosen all of the above. A petition demanding legal action against distributors has now surpassed 500,000 signatures, calling for harsher penalties on those profiting from leaked law enforcement files. Yet while lawyers draft cease and desist letters, underground forums keep trading the files like digital contraband. Mirror links, zipped folders, private Telegram channels, the audio has become forbidden fruit for a fandom that can't stop reaching. What started as collective grief has mutated into cultural fixation. For some, reliving those moments offers closure, a chance to process what fame and addiction stole too soon. For others, it's emotional self-harm disguised as tribute. Either way, one truth remains. The Juice WRLD fandom doesn't want to let go. Maybe it can't. Because for them, replaying his final moments isn't just remembrance, it's resurrection. Legacy unchained. 6 years after his death, Juice WRLD remains an enigma, both a cautionary tale and a cultural touchstone, the kind of artist whose shadow refuses to fade. The 2025 audio leak may have reignited scandal, but it also reignited reflection. Beneath the noise and moral outrage lies an uncomfortable truth. His music still saves people.
He turned 21 just last week. Juice got his start posting songs to SoundCloud, his career quickly taking off.
Juice WRLD!
Earlier this year, Billboard naming him Best New Artist.
I'm really in awe right now, but I just want to thank God. I want to thank all my supporters. I want to thank all my fans. And yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's a blessing.
For an entire generation raised on heartbreak playlists and anxiety anthems, Juice WRLD was more than a rapper, he was a mirror. His lyrics about addiction, love, fear, and mortality hit harder now, tinged with the tragic awareness that he'd been writing his own eulogy all along. The leak complicates that legacy, twisting what was once artistic vulnerability into public spectacle. Every replay of the Dispatch audio feels like an intrusion, yet every replay of lucid dreams feels like redemption. It's the paradox of modern fame. Even in death, an artist's story isn't theirs to control. And still, somehow, his influence keeps expanding. Artists like the Kid Laroi, Ian Dior, and even newcomers in 2025 cite him as blueprint, proof that emotion can coexist with swagger, and pain can chart higher than bravado. His unreleased tracks still leak, still trend, still reach millions. The posthumous hits pile up like ghost signals from a voice that refuses to go silent. Yet the spectacle surrounding the 2025 leak shows how easily legacy becomes commodity. The internet has turned mourning into content, grief into engagement. The audio that should have been sacred has become another viral loop, stripping tragedy for clicks. But maybe, in the noise, there's still meaning. Juice's story forces uncomfortable conversations about addiction, about fame, about how the world glorifies self-destruction until it kills someone and then calls it art. There are still no new investigations, no accountability, no closure, only echoes. Echoes of sirens, echoes of verses, echoes of a kid who saw the end coming long before anyone else did. What's the 27 Club? We ain't making it past 21, he once rapped. He didn't, but the world made sure he'd never truly leave.
This morning, the music world in shock after the sudden death of 21-year-old rapper Juice WRLD. The artist, whose real name is Jared Higgins, topped charts with his hit song Lucid Dreams.
So as the leaked audio loops endlessly through the digital ether, one question remains louder than any beat he ever made. Will the world ever let Juice WRLD rest in peace? Or are we doomed to keep resurrecting him, one viral grief cycle at a time? Like and subscribe for the full meltdown, because in 2025, even ghosts can trend. So here we are, 6 years later, still dissecting the last moments of a voice that defined a generation. The 2025 leak gave us what we claimed to want, the truth. But in chasing it, the internet might have crossed the line between tribute and torment. Juice WRLD once sang about lucid dreams. Now he's trapped in one, replayed endlessly for clout. Maybe the real tragedy isn't the leak itself, but that we keep pressing play. Until next time, remember, in pop culture, nothing ever stays buried. Not fame, not pain, and definitely not the ghosts the internet refuses to forget.